Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday 10 with CadChica Sports. I am your host, Sunny Cadwallader, better known as CadChica. Tuesday 10 is a quick 10-minute chat with leaders and up-and-comers in the world of sports, from media, broadcasting, business marketing, social media, and more. Now, normally, we come to you every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific and Arizona time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, but it's May. We are in the middle of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, and my guest is covering Game 7. Yes, that's right, a Game 7 tonight in Pittsburgh between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. Please welcome in my guest, Russ Cohen. Hey, Russ.
Hey, Sonny, how are you?
I am doing well, doing well. What's the vibe? I know you just drove into town. What's been the vibe like there?
It's real good. I mean, I can see people are starting to fill up. They're all coming in their jerseys, even Fleury jerseys. So you see, even the fans aren't that worried about them, even though we tend to blow up different things about them. So I think they're feeling confident.
Well, before we dig in, why don't you give everybody just a little bit of background about yourself?
Sure. I've been working on my sportsology website that I own for about 12 years. Broke into the business that way. Try and cover a lot of sports, but really specialize in baseball and hockey. I'm a member of the Professional Hockey Writers Association. I have my 5th book coming out in October, and I just stay busy. I love sports and I love dogs, so I have a lot of pets at home.
That's okay. We like dogs here on the Tuesday 10 show. Let's get right to it. In terms of postseason, for me, just personally, the first 2 days of March Madness are just hands down phenomenal from a fan standpoint, but a postseason as a whole, not the NFL, not the NBA, not Major League Baseball, nothing compares quite like NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs. I don't know if it's been the change in format or what it's been, but these have been just some phenomenal series that we've been experiencing the first 2 rounds. What's your take on it so far?
Yeah, it is the change in format. It's brought out the rivalries. You know, the Flyers hadn't played the Rangers since '97, so they matched up. Penguins and Rangers have matched up quite a bit over the years. So once it got to the second round, you have more familiar partners. But with Anaheim and LA, that's a hell of a matchup. So there's been some really great pairings here, and it has to do with the new format, and it's working.
Well, that's great. Right now, I am reading one of your books. We're going to be giving one of your books away here in just a little bit, but I'm reading the Winter Classic right now, and the subtitle to it is The NHL Savior. Can you tell me a little bit about how that book came about and a little bit more about the Winter Classic itself?
Sure. Myself and Mike Del Tufo, we had actually traveled together to the first 3 or 4 Winter Classics and looked at each other and said, you know, we should write a book about this because these keep getting better and better and bigger. And as we dug into it, we realized how much money it was starting to make for the NHL coming out of the lockout. So it's an exciting one-off event. It's an event that even non-hockey fans have sort of gotten into, and that New Year's Day is a perfect day because there's not great bowl games on that day. So it really has worked out to be a nice event.
How many have you covered up to this point?
All of them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every one of them, and I'll be at the one in Washington this year that hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, so you're breaking news for me, right?
Nah, it's a bad kept secret.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Well, maybe one of these years I'll be able to get to one of those and we'll actually meet in person. But I want to switch gears just a little bit. You talked about writing about baseball. We are giving, like I said, we are going to give this away, so stay tuned to all of my viewers. It's called Baseball's Best Rookies, and one of the rookies you spoke with that you actually mentioned to me earlier today is Mike Trout, and he is not in Pittsburgh, but he's in Philly with the Angels. Tell me about what you learned about him and what you learned about the Major League Baseball rookies in general writing the book.
What I learned about Mike Trout is that he's a really grounded, just fun, happy-go-lucky guy, really no ego. He's just a guy from like East Jablip that really, when he's not playing baseball, just wants to be fishing. And I really couldn't believe that after the season that he had come off his rookie season, big star. He was winning an award in Philadelphia, and he was just like any other guy, except there were about 60 people there ready to cover him. That was the difference.
Now, so what teams did you cheer for growing up? Because you cover hockey, you cover baseball, I know you've written about football, you cover all kinds of sports. What teams did you cheer for growing up?
Mets, Jets, Knicks, and Rangers.
Which one is your number one team?
I would say the Mets. They've always been close to my heart. I have a tattoo, so I would have to go with the Mets.
So are you kind of a long-suffering fan? Like I know there's a friend of mine watching right now. He's a Mets fan. Are you kind of a long-suffering fan, like right along with him?
Yeah, there's no other kind, but at least we have lived through a few championships. I've had a couple and 3 World Series, so that's pretty good. The first one I was 6, but the second one I was really much older and in my 20s, and that was fun. And in 2000, I never thought the Mets would beat the Yankees, but it at least was a fun experience.
Well, that's more than I can say for my team. My team is the Mariners, so maybe one of these years I'll get to experience what you guys have experienced. We met through Twitter, social media, and now we're connecting in a new way here on Google+. I want to know what kind of role has social media played in terms of helping you build Sportsology or connecting or whichever way you want to take it. How has social media helped you?
It's really done a great job with our radio shows. We used to host our own. We're one of the first websites that had our own podcasts. We had our own server, and so that that was all pre-Twitter and everything else. But once those things started to happen, we got on Blog Talk Radio, and it just seemed like social media really helped us along with that, and also just articles and just getting out sports information, and then eventually tweeting from games. I've been covering games forever, so all those things definitely helped, because otherwise you have to give people a reason to follow you and then to read you, and if you don't, even if you write for someplace great, they're not going to care.
Yeah, exactly. Has it changed the dynamic from your perspective we know it's changed the dynamic between media and fans and athletes and fans, but has it changed how fans relate to each other, do you think, or do you even experience that at all?
No, I experience it. I experience it from a couple different directions. People know that I grew up a Ranger fan, yet I cover the Flyers, and I try and stay an expert on the East. So every once in a while, my page will bubble over with Ranger fans fighting Flyer fans, then dragging me into it and kind of seeing which way I fall on it, which side of the fence. So I have experienced that. I experience it on Facebook too, but again, when I'm covering games, I cover it down the middle, so I'm trying not to upset anybody. But, again, I have like a Ranger book coming out, and it talks about the Flyer rivalry, and some people will probably not like what's in there, and then some people will probably say, yeah, it's accurate. You know how that goes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the 103 things every New York Rangers fan should do before they die. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. Triumph Publishing. It's already available for pre-sale on Amazon.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you're joining me from the Pittsburgh parking lot, so thank you for joining me tonight. I told you I would make this as quick as possible, but I got you on Game 7 tonight. There's a Game 7 tomorrow. What are your predictions?
Well, I think the Penguins are going to take this one. I really do. I think it's going to be a 4-3 game. It wouldn't shock me if it's an overtime game. I just don't think the Penguins are going to roll over easy here and lose 3 in a row. I hate to use stats. The Rangers have actually never come back from a 3-1 deficit. In 1939, they had a 3-1 deficit that they almost came back from and didn't, but I don't think that matters. I just think it matters that Pittsburgh has Game 7 at home, and that's why you get home ice.
And we got one more tomorrow. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
For Chicago, I think Chicago takes it. I thought they would take it the whole time. I think, a lot of times teams, when they see they're behind in Game 6, I don't want to say coast, but they sort of change their mindset knowing that they're going home for Game 7 and sort of gear up for that, and I think that's what they're going to do.
Is that what happened to Boston last night against the Canadiens?
Yep, absolutely. At some point, they just check out of that game. They take their lumps. They know they're going home. They've been in that situation before. They've won a cup. They've been to the cup twice. They're going to win that game, I think.
Well, thanks for joining me. Why don't you let everybody know real quick where they can connect up with you?
Sure. At Sportsology is my Twitter handle. Russ Cohen on Google+, at Sportsology on Instagram, at Sportsology on Vine, or you could just go to sportsology.net and read what I write.
And I had to quickly grab my book again. I dropped your book. I'm sorry about that. We are definitely giving this away tonight to the first person, whoever is out there watching, first person to tweet at me the hashtag because it's the cup and the Tuesday 10 CCS hashtag. Tweet me at CadChica because it's the cup hashtag and Tuesday 10 CCS hashtag, and I will get Russ's book, Baseball's Best Rookies, to you. I know, it's a hockey hashtag for a baseball book. It makes no sense, but that's okay. So connect with me at CadChica on Twitter and Instagram. Check out my website, CadChicaSports.com, for the latest in sports and social media news. And we will return next week at our regular time, 5 p.m. Pacific and Arizona time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, when my guest will be social media strategist and a member of Team Fitz, Larry Fitzgerald. My guest will be Joe Scott, athlete helper. Thanks, everyone, for joining me, and we'll talk to you next time.